everyone. So I am here in New York City as part of the Salesforce Agentforce World Tour, New York City. And sitting with me right now is Greg Jacobi, VP and GM of Lending and Marketing. Hello, how are you?
I'm great and happy to be here.
I am so excited. We talked about so many things this morning. I'm learning so much this morning, so I can't wait to see, but particularly, understanding your background, how all of that technology intersects with banking. So let's go. When we talk about banking today, we have seen a lot of changes, and there's still a lot of things that still need to be changed. From your vantage point at Salesforce, what do you think are the most critical investment, say that banks and credit unions should focus on right now?
Yeah, I probably the most significant thing is our banks, our credit unions are still pretty behind on customer experience and the expectations that keep rising from consumers. And there's been a fair amount of investment over the years, but a lot of it is it's been superficial. And it's time now to really get at sort of the core processes that drive those experiences. And on top of that, when you invest in those experiences, there's also a fair amount of risk, and our banks are risk managers. So it's this dichotomy of investing in customer experience, but also the security and compliance infrastructure that you need to be able to.
Which is important, especially given where we are today. Consumers are expecting more and more,
Oh yeah,
and we need to be able to.
yep.
So, speaking of which, can you share with us what is Salesforce AI strategy in helping? Yeah.
Yep. So our central thesis is that our banks are fundamentally constrained by capacity. It's not that they don't have enough people in order to do all of the work and things that customers are demanding from those expectations. So our AI strategy is about building digital workforce, co-workers that can collaborate with the human bankers and supercharge them, make them more effective at what they're doing, and enable them to meet the demand. So what we've done towards that is we have this amazing Agentforce platform that we launched at Dreamforce. Ever since that has hit the market, we've been working very closely with customers and design partners to actually go build those templates of agent that are very specific job personas so that our customers can very quickly spin up those.
I was playing a little bit with that this morning.
Oh, awesome. How'd it go?
It was so awesome. So I created a pseudo credit union. I call it Fire Credit Union.
We call ours Cumulus Bank. But yeah, I like the pie.
So the whole idea I was going for was, imagine, well, imagine that, but where they are servicing small business owners, but they're having a hard time building all these to meet where they need to be, because we're still contending with a lot of bank processes. So how can we use the technology agents, specifically in this case, to help them create a seamless account experience?
Oh, so I think that's a really great example. And if you think about the components of what an agent can do and what you need to have a great account experience, those two things intersect. And you need knowledge, you need reasoning, you need the ability to take some action. So if you think about how an agent could transform the account opening experience, the first thing is suitability on products, helping you find, and customers have a million questions about what's the right thing for me, and loading these agents with all of the product knowledge and guidance is a first great place to start. But then you get into, okay, now I want to open up, and there's a million rules and regulatory things that need to be followed. And instead of hand coding all of those rules into a system, we can arm our agents with those policies. And then the action piece is our agents are fundamentally built to take action. So whether it's going out and looking at risk scores and reasoning on top of those to see if that's somebody that the bank wants to do business with, or going to the downstream systems and updating data, the action layer of agents really enables a future where you can have a conversational account experience that just feels seamless.
to feel very seamless. I was so surprised that actually understood what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
By me verbally explaining what I wanted to do. That was an experience that I am very much used to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when you see an agent from afar, maybe you're seeing somebody give you a demo and you're not playing hands-on, you can sort of look at it and be like, that kind of feels like a chatbot. But when you really engage with this agent, you understand that chatbot is this very sort of deterministic set of rules, whereas an agent is given guardrails and can only do specific things. But within those guardrails, has the freedom to sort of understand what you're trying to do and build a plan of action with you to get what, which you very unlikely could never have built a chatbot in order to handle all the permutations and stuff. So it's very exciting.
It was very exciting. So I passed the chat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear. So speaking let's go back to the beginning when we were just talking about helping financial institutions advance their technology stack to get to where they need to be. Tech stack. They do struggle with legacy systems. What are some of the things that you believe they need to do and to get to the stage that
Yeah.
they can have capabilities and
So I think probably first and foremost, I mean, we're not necessarily saying to banks, you need to go replace all of your legacy systems. First of all, that's just not practical. But it's not totally necessary. But the things that you need to do is you need to unlock that exists in those core legacy systems, make them available to those agents. You need to bring that security and compliance layer in that I mentioned earlier. And probably the newest element of a technology stack that a bank needs to think about is this agentic layer. It is not a DIY, go get an LLM and just leverage it. There are Agentforce tools, the best in the market from our perspective, but that agentic layer is what enables you to build those agent experiences so you can leverage the data, take advantage of that reasoning engine, and take some action.
what are some success stories share with us?
I mean, but PenFed is a great customer of ours. It's been on this journey with us for quite a while now, and they're doing what a lot of customers are doing. I think what's exciting about what they're doing is they're doing it at a very rapid pace. And they're very, very good at that.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've started internally with agentic experiences that help employees, help answer questions, slowly building trust like you would any coworker, building trust in what we can do and giving them more license to take some action. And they're moving towards a world where they're going to have those agents collaborating directly with customers.
I love what you just mentioned, trust, which is hugely important in our industry, as we know.
Yeah.
Looking forward, right, as we continue to create more solutions and implement and deploy more technologies in our business, what do you think is the most in this technology? Is that to help financial services in the next few to five?
Sure. Maybe let's pause on trust for 1 second, because I think one thing that's unique about Salesforce's AI story more broadly is, once we all used ChatGPT for the first time and realized this world was upon us, the first investment we made was in something we call the Einstein. It's an AI pipeline that has all the risk controls that we need at an enterprise scale so that we can enable this amazing performance. As far as what's coming, I will say 3 to 5 years was like so far out there in this AI world, but so maybe in terms of what's next, and I imagine it'll happen well before 3 to 5 years, is this concept of multi and agents collaborating with each other. So we're very rapidly entering a world where humans are building teams that are a mix of hybrid digital coworkers and humans. And we're now going to enter a world as the next phase where there are teams where it's agents collaborating with each other. That's going to be internal to companies, but then you're going to have agents from different companies, or maybe I, as a consumer, have my own agent, and it's going to interact with my bank's agent and all of that. So there's a lot of technology that's being built out to enable that feature. And once that's in place, I think there's a lot of interesting possibilities.
So is there going to be a Greg agent talking to a CEO
My
agent?
digital twin,
Yeah.
there might be. I might ask that agent to, go take on some tasks for me and work with some folks inside the bank to help me out. And that's definitely one possible outcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's next then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great.
Appreciate it.